Hi everyone, this is episode 7 of Star Trek Continues. This episode is called Embracing the Winds. I bit my tongue there. Embracing the winds. Embracing the winds. Let's do it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comments.
Starfleet Command has ordered the Enterprise to report to the Aldebaran sector. Meanwhile, Mr. Spock and I have been recalled to the starbase at Corinth 4 for a classified briefing. Thanks for taking your free time to bring us here, Sulu.
I would have been perfectly capable of piloting the shuttle.
Then I wouldn't have the chance to see the museum. They have the most extensive collection of historical firearms in the quadrant. It's a dream come true.
Do your interests also extend to historical firearms?
I've always had a passion for handheld weaponry.
Is that sarcasm?
We're near several Orion colonies. I'm using my off time to perform some studies on these social shifts within the syndicate.
Has there been any progress with that?
Lolani?
Perhaps.
Historically, oppression of any segment of a given population has led to disastrous long-term results.
Mm-hmm.
True, but that doesn't mean the past can't be overcome.
Anything's possible.
I love how they bring up Sulu's love for his firearms. And I love it when we get to set out in the Galileo. I love her hair.
Welcome to Corinth 4.
Is this what I think it is?
Well, it depends on what you think it is.
Oh?
Mr. Spock, ease the nerves.
Thank you, Captain. That won't be necessary.
I know that you and I have had our differences. Under the circumstances, I hope we can move past that.
She's making me nervous.
The crew of the Hood has been lost. Life support systems failure. There's no reason to suspect foul play.
Are we going to investigate something?
The ship is still intact. The Enterprise has been sent to bring her home. The Hood will need a new crew and a new captain. I know of only one candidate who's qualified to assume command of the Hood.
They want Spock? They want to take his first officer.
Congratulations, Captain Spock.
Well, he didn't accept. Does he not have a choice? So, if Spock really got sent, would Scotty become the
Ship's
first
log,
officer?
Stardate 6295.5. Lieutenant Commander Scott in command.
Speaking of,
The Hood was investigating a subspace anomaly when life support failed.
And we wonder why man wasn't born with wings.
It's a risk we all take when we sign up for the service, laddie. Still, it doesn't make it any easier. Scott to engineering. Ready tractor beam. Let's tow this last back to port.
he's like, maybe I do need a little thing, something to calm my nerves.
I must confess I don't cherish the idea of losing my best officer, but I guess I knew this day would come.
There may be a complication. Another officer had applied for the position.
Oh, well, he can have it.
Garrett, a very experienced officer.
He can have it. Keep Spock with
Starfleet
Kirk.
felt that she wouldn't be best suited for command. She's filed an appeal with Starfleet Command. She asserts that she's been selectively overlooked because she's a woman.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
Does she have any basis for that complaint?
Well, I thought it was a guy.
You've dealt with Tellarites, Captain.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I've had the distinct pleasure.
Or displeasure.
Without Tellar's resources, the Earth stood little chance to survive the Romulan incursion. Tellarite society has always frowned on females serving as starship captains.
But surely the Federation's not bound by the backward social policies of one member species.
The Tellarites have been suggesting they might pull their seat from the Council. It would be unwise to antagonize them further.
Well, that just doesn't
Permission to
seem
speak
right at
freely,
all.
sir.
I do not believe there is any formal regulation against it.
Not officially.
It would be unethical for her to be passed over for promotion simply because she is a woman.
She deserves the ship, Commodore.
I don't envy the person that has to explain that through the Tellarite ambassador.
Is that going to be our job? What is this?
Settling in, I see.
I must consider the possibility that Starfleet was correct in their assessment.
This is about more than logic, Spock. It's about fairness.
My position is not based upon Commander Garrett's gender.
Or maybe it should be. Starfleet has never given a woman command of a Constitution-class starship. Perhaps there's a greater good to be considered here. Garrett's on her way here. Commodore wants me to interview her, draw my own conclusions. I can't imagine the Hood with a better captain than Garrett.
But perhaps You simply cannot imagine the Enterprise without me.
That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Yes. He really, really wants her to be the best candidate.
But you cannot allow that to weigh on your decision.
He's biased.
How could it not?
I took the liberty of accessing Commander Garrett's fitness reports. You may find them informative.
Fitness reports. Does she have some sort of physical ailment?
Sir, we are within sensor range of the hood.
No life signs.
I'm seeing no unusual activity in the system.
Confirmed.
But the transmissions clearly said there was
Aye, an anomaly of some sort.
We are going to be detectives. Okay, good.
Something doesn't feel right. We cannot risk towing her to the Drydock without knowing a wee bit more about what happened.
I should be able to restore life support on her engineering deck remotely. You could get a closer look.
Aye, suppose we must.
I was worried that they weren't going to like delve deeper into exactly what happened on this ship. But Scotty's on the case.
Diana Garrett, reporting as ordered.
At ease, Commander.
I traveled here with Vice Admiral Stom from ESD.
Stom. And yet you survived without throwing yourself out the air lounge.
Well, barely.
Commander, I've been looking at your record. Self-made
Thank you.
I see you served on the Constitution before it was decommissioned. The attack on Nimbus 3, losing your captain like that.
I'd prefer not to discuss the matter, sir.
Sorry? I simply want...
Captain, my testimony is a matter of record. It's been 24 Earth hours since I've slept.
Well, she's being very evasive.
Certainly. Commander, get yourself some rest.
She was on the Constitution, and her captain was killed. Is she the cause of this somehow? She's trying to do anything for the captaincy?
Sir, request permission to join the boarding party.
Not this time, lad.
It's not personal, Pavel. You're not focused.
But
A jack of all trades is a master of none. Find something you really love and stick with it. You never know until you try.
It's a candle, and that's his lyre flute? I always forget. Nice little candle holder.
The captain filled me in on the situation. I thought I'd check in and see how you're doing.
I would welcome your advice on this matter.
Acquiring my position on the Enterprise was not easy. There were many who believed a counselor was unnecessary. But having the requisite skills and experience, I never attributed their concern to my being a woman. And if bias is present, it is often deep and subconscious.
Makes sense.
I concur that humans, indeed all races, are capable of such bias, both intentionally and unintentionally.
If I were ever to have a daughter, I would want her to know that any position is within her grasp if she works hard enough to achieve it.
But Commander Garrett's record has numerous issues which necessitate further scrutiny.
Would her record be under the same degree of scrutiny if she were a man?
I believe it would, Doctor. But one can never be certain of another's motives.
No, but we can certainly strive to be clear about our own.
Oh, she's good. She's good. The human mind is complex.
She filed a petition for an immediate decision regarding the Hood's captaincy. A 3-person committee will hold a formal hearing to make the final determination. Admiral Stom, myself, and the next senior officer on this starbase. You, Captain.
He's biased. It's like I feel like she's hiding something, this Garrett.
This hearing is now in session. Mr. Spock, if you please.
Spock, position, first officer, science officer.
Commander Spock's record is impeccable. I move that we dispense with the formalities if there are no objections.
I believe Mr. Spock's qualifications are material to this decision.
Awards of valor, twice decorated by Starfleet Command.
Thank you.
Commander Spock, if you were transferred to the captaincy of the Hood, how would that make you feel? But you are also half human, aren't you?
I am, Admiral.
As a student, you were accepted to the Vulcan Science Academy. Yet you turned down admission. Human emotions play a role in that decision?
No, sir, they did not.
Inaccurate.
Oh, he's lying.
I object to this line of questioning. Spock is not on trial here.
Yeah. What's up with this?
His racial heritage should have no bearing on his qualification for this position any more than Commander Garrett's gender should.
The idea of a female starship captain unsettles some people.
Well, then they can just chill. Deal with it.
I am absolutely convinced that it's time for a woman to captain a Constitution-class vessel. But with respect to Commander Garrett, I'm not convinced she is that woman.
What did he find out? Oh. Dang. The bodies are still there. Oh. They should have worn some masks or like gas masks or something to filter their air and they don't have to deal with the smell.
I'll get the dilithium chamber open. See how bad these crystals have decayed.
Oh, is this our friend with his bionic arm? Yeah, I like this guy. He's cool. Or prosthetic, I guess. I don't know if bionic is the right.
Position, First Officer. Current assignment, Earth Space Dock. Awards of Valor, 4 times decorated by Starfleet Command.
She's got a lot of commendations.
You were part of the ill-fated Nimbus 3 landing party, were you not?
Those arthropods came out of nowhere.
I also read the official investigation into the incident. It suggested human error.
And no proof of wrongdoing was ever officially determined.
Officially, there are numerous similar incidents in your file. I see 2 officers sitting in that chair, one with a long history of faithful service, and one who reacts with undue hostility whenever her judgment is questioned.
Perhaps hostility is a legitimate reaction when one is subjected to undue scrutiny and discrimination.
I wish I could assure you that you haven't been held to a different standard. Perhaps you have. But part of the duty of a starship captain is to learn from mistakes.
That's fair.
And to admit when he or she is in the wrong.
I was not in the wrong.
The logs I've managed to download are consistent with a subspace disruption, but look here. The rift, it disappeared. I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh.
What in the name of?
It's just starting up on its own?
Enterprise, we've got a containment failure. Get us out of here!
Their deflector screen's activated. It's impossible to get a lock.
Oh.
We can't bring them back.
That's not good.
The reactors are critical.
Sarah, there's nothing I can do. Can you jettison the core?
How much time?
Minutes, seconds. Impossible to tell. I'm sorry. Scott Enterprise. Get as far away as possible.
What are they gonna do?
Commander.
Lieutenant, that's a direct order.
Yes, sir.
Wait!
Chekhov to the rescue?
Permission to take weapon subsystem station, sir.
Go.
Enterprise, get out of here!
We're not listening.
I might be able to transmit to Tronic algorithm.
You'll kill yourself, man!
Забояться. Руки. Дери.
The shields are down. Transporter room, get them out of there.
Get him out! And now get out! Ooh. Wow.
The board will entertain motions before delivering its verdict. Very well.
All rise.
What are motions?
I endorse Commander Garrett for promotion to the rank of captain.
He really doesn't like Spock, does he?
I endorse Commander Spock for promotion.
Oh, so it all falls on Kirk.
Captain Kirk?
Saved by the Bell?
Incoming transmission from the Enterprise. They were unable to salvage the hood, Commodore. It's been destroyed.
What about my people?
No major injuries to your crew.
Understood. Gray out.
Well, I guess there's no ship to be taken over.
This new information renders these proceedings unnecessary.
If I may, there's an underlying issue that still remains. Is there not? For decades, I believe the service has overlooked capable officers for certain positions simply because we're women. We can hide behind Telluride diplomacy, rationalize it, justify it, but it is still true.
Do you believe a person should receive special consideration because of their gender?
If that person's gender, religion, or race has been historically used to deny them consideration.
That wasn't the question.
But that is my answer. There are countless female officers more than capable of commanding a starship. This may not be my time, but it is most certainly theirs.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
It's a start, I guess.
Spock.
I said my piece. I'm out.
Peace and long life.
Live long and prosper.
I thought there was more of a conspiracy going on behind the scenes with that Garrett lady.
Of all the harebrained, half-baked lunatic ideas.
It's good to see you too, sir.
I've informed Admiral Stamm of your little stunt, Lieutenant.
Whatever disciplinary action you feel I deserve, Lieutenant.
Thank you for saving our lives, Lieutenant Chekhov.
Sir, yes, sir.
What?
I'll be filing a formal recommendation with Starfleet Engineering Corps to install a shield prefix code on all of our ships.
And it will be called the Chekhov code.
Don't push your luck, lad. It was an inspired idea. Have you considered a career in tactical?
Commander, what happened over there?
I don't know, Lieutenant. And that's what worries me.
We still don't know. Are we ever going to get answers?
Thank you. And congratulations.
Hey, promotion.
Before you overloaded the board, you said something. It sounded like Russian.
Old expression. Eyes might be afraid, but hands do the job. Means you never know until you try.
That was awesome. I didn't even catch it when he said lieutenant. Until Chekhov said it. Bones just like,
Ambassador, we acknowledge and respect your culture's beliefs, but I must tell you...
Oh, please. I'm well aware that my people's prejudices are hopelessly outdated by modern standards. I believe one of your greatest human writers once said, a lady's verily is as potent as a lord's.
Who said that? Shakespeare?
That he did.
The winds of change blow for us. Trust that you have my full support.
Thank you, Ambassador. Embrace the winds.
Change is starting. The seeds have been sown. Might take a while still. Oh, that Chekhov thing got to me a little bit.
Sir, I know we didn't get off to the greatest start. Regardless, thank you for your consideration. Maybe someday a Garrett will command an Enterprise.
Well, it is the 23rd century. Anything's possible.
Yes.
So I guess the reason she cut him off so quick when he asked about that incident was just because she was tired of people questioning her.
I must confess, I find myself bordering on an emotional reaction. Shame that I am somewhat relieved at the destruction of the hood. How would you have voted?
Oh, right.
Ooh. I'll admit, I considered voting against you because I didn't want to lose you.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. I briefly considered withdrawing my name for the very same reason.
And I briefly considered chaining you to your station so you could never leave. Scotty, stand by to receive shuttlecraft. We'll be home for dinner. Both of us.
Yay! So I guess Kirk would have voted for Spock, yeah. Which makes sense. Even though he wouldn't have wanted to, he would have... Yeah. Okay, so this is an episode that I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage to really speak on because, well, unlike you guys, I don't really know a lot of what's coming along down the line as far as the kind of politics that are going to maybe come into play, or I feel like from what I gathered from the turnabout intruder comments that I was getting on that video was that a lot of people were appalled by that episode's writing when they mentioned that women could not be a captain of a starship. I think it was something like that. Oh, she said, the lady who was trying to kill Kirk because she wanted to be a captain, she wanted his body so she could take his spot, so she could do it as a man because they told her no because she was a woman. People took that in different ways. Either that she was delusional or that she was just assuming that they were not giving her a chance to have that position because she was a woman, or because it was like bad writing for them to say that. The writer who wrote that episode clearly knows nothing about Star Trek or something like that, So I feel like in the canon, this probably isn't really, and I'm not sure. This is just my assumption based on the comments that I read. And to be clear, I don't want to know what's coming up in The Next Generation, in Deep Space Nine, in yada yada yada. But I'm assuming that they don't really tackle that. They don't really explain what she said and why she said it in Turnabout Intruder. And I feel like this is the writers and producers here at Star Trek Continues to kind of try to answer to that. That there's no hard rule about women can't be captains, but it might as well be, because they're never going to, because the Tellarites would drop out of the Alliance. Anyways, I thought this was a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing a scenario where Spock is offered a choice at being a captain of a starship, of his own starship, and Kirk's feelings about that and his feelings about that, because yes, he does have them, and no, he does not want to leave Kirk's side. But logically speaking, if he's the best candidate, then can he really go against that decision? And likewise with Kirk. If Garrett is not the right officer, and Spock is for the job, even though he would want to, what was it, chain Spock to the Enterprise? He can't in good conscience do that. But it does remind me of the Enterprise incident episode where the Romulan commander was thinking that Spock would want his own ship to command and offering him that. And boy, was she just so misled there. And this pretty much solidifies that. There was a lot of question about people's motives, their conscious motives and their unconscious motives in their subconscious, and the motives of, say, the entire Federation, whether there is bias there, whether it is something that's intentional or not. I would like to think that by the 23rd century that they wouldn't have these kind of biases, but seeing the trajectory and the course that we're on and our past and how, our history, I guess it's not really, I mean, as like, as a people, as a species, I guess it's not really that hard to believe, because we're still dealing with a lot of prejudice all the time based on gender and multitudes of other things, skin color, sexuality, etc., etc. But I feel like it is quite realistic when I think about it, because it does make sense that there would be things that aren't really perfect in the future. And while I love in the original series when Kirk says, oh, we don't do that anymore. We don't have these wars. We're peaceful. We don't have, words don't harm us. That's Uhura said one time when she was telling Abe Lincoln, crazy story. Or we've left all those prejudices behind. I do enjoy that they showed here that indeed there would still be things that in the future are not 100% dealt with or fixed. It's not going to be perfect. And that they are still striving to make the galaxy a welcoming place for everybody with complete fairness. And to be able to look and see that and to acknowledge it and to accept that it's there and then take the steps to fix it. I like how they've handled this here. Now, with regards to the USS Hood, we never figured out what happened there. And I guess that's because of one or two things. One, it just wasn't really necessary for the episode for them to figure that out. So instead of half-assing some kind of explanation, it's probably better, in order to not feel like kind of shoehorned in or distract from the main themes and messages that they're trying to get across in this episode, to just say, well, we don't know. It's a mystery. But I did really enjoy the whole thing with Chekhov and him getting his promotion to a lieutenant for his acts of valor and selflessness. Even though he disobeyed, he saved the lives of 5 of his fellow crew. And I don't recall, but I'm guessing in Wrath of Khan, maybe Chekhov was a lieutenant or higher. So obviously he would have gotten a promotion kind of off camera somewhere. And where these fan shows can really shine and have a lot of fun is that they can say, hey, this thing obviously happened in between TOS and the movies. We can make up that story and show how it happened, if that makes sense. And I really like that. Also, I do feel like that Strom was his name, the Vulcan guy that was on the committee. He seemed to kind of have something against Spock being half human, and he was really kind of focusing on that with his questioning. So there was a lot of things going on in the subconscious. Biases, motives, prejudices. And I think the main message of this episode, just like, what's her name? The counselor girl, just like she was telling Spock. Before you worry about other people, look inside yourself and figure out what your motives are. And change does begin inside oneself, right? And it's like, did Kirk want her to be the captain because then Spock wouldn't have to, or was it because he truly thought she was the best candidate? And there's so much to think about. There's so many things that we don't understand is going on in our own minds, in our own emotions. If we can't even figure out why we think certain things and why we feel certain things, then how can we even begin to understand another person? So maybe don't jump to conclusions about people, because you don't even know your own damn self. Okay, I don't know. This is a fun episode. This is one that I would really love to watch again, to just really soak in all the dialogue, because it feels very intentional in this episode. I think it was very excellently written. And I feel like there's a lot going on under the surface that you can pick up on a second viewing or multiple viewings. So anyways, another excellent Star Trek Continues episodes. My hat's off to everybody who worked on these. You can tell the passion that comes through with this production, with the acting, with the writing, with the music, with everything, the direction. And I cannot wait to see what the next one's going to be. So thank you guys for watching again. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure we'll have some really great discussions on this one. And remember, don't spoil anything that happens later on with regards to, I mean, I already know that they do have a woman captain later on, which I've talked about before. Captain Janeway, who my husband is a big fan of. I don't even know what series she's from, but anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Live long and prosper. Yeah, all that good stuff. Bye-bye.